Next, I call on Deputy Sean Kyne. I understand you have 5 minutes.
Uh, Thank you very much, Chairman. Obviously, my constituency of Galway West suffered very badly from the storms, not just of early January, but of February. In fact, we've had a series of storms probably since the middle of December, which have impacted hugely on my constituency, on the coasts, in particular, through tidal surges. And in remembering the damage, I must remember a man and a good local community worker, Stevie King from Irishmore and Cleggan, who'll be buried tomorrow, a man of the sea and of the land, who was involved in the Festival of the Sea, the Omea races, a good community worker, involved with the Cleggan Regatta, and I know he, from speaking to family members, had never seen anything like the storms that we've experienced in the Connemara area over the last number of weeks. Obviously, people who have been impacted personally suffer a huge sense of frustration, and as a former member of a local authority, I remember an issue of a housing estate that was flooded, and the stress that endured over a long period of time till a solution was found, a quite simple solution was found in that case. I certainly feel for all those that are affected by flooding and storm damage. As I said, some cases the solutions can be found. Solutions sometimes take a long time to be found. They have to go through processes. For example, and I'd like to commend Minister Hayes for recently announcing work on the River Clare drainage scheme, which we remember the town of Clare Galway has suffered from flooding over a number of occasions, latterly in 2009, and relief relief works are to commence this year, including the installation well, the new bridge has already been installed, but proposed works continuation of the deepening of the channel at the new bridge in Claregalway village, the maintenance of the channel from the Kerr line downstream, the creation of a two-stage channel and embankment at Crusheen close to the new bridge, the cleaning and extension of the island drain to Carnmore to relieve regular flooding near Granny Glass, and the installation of one-way valve to prevent water from backing up in times of heavy rainfall or flooding. And I know that Minister Hayes visited Claregalway last year with local councillors Peter Feeney and Malachy Noon, and OPW officials saw for themselves. So I'd like to commend the Minister for announcing that scheme. Allbrack in Ballyconneely was an area that suffered hugely during the initial storms in the early January, and I was out there, and again a sense of frustration for locals doing their best through the council and the hard work of council, filling large sandbags to try and keep back the tide at that point. Unfortunately, it didn't work, but thankfully the council have been able to progress towards the installation of a new flood defence wall, where the old wall, which had been built in 1942, collapsed during that storm in early January. So that is an immediate solution that has been found and will be funded, hopefully through the department or through the OPW. I think in light of what has gone on, I think we need a stronger emergency committee. In the UK, and I pointed this out previously, the UK, they have what they call the Cobra Committee. It's a catchy name, people know it, and people know that there is action taking place if a Cobra Committee is meeting, and I think we need something like that that will meet immediately that a storm or a natural disaster takes place, and that they will liaise and be the focal point for the media to get the message out there of what is happening. Last week, Minister Coveney outlined funding for Pearson Harbours, which I'd like to welcome, 8.8 million nationally. It may not be enough, there may be more needed, and certainly I think Galway have indicated proposals of some 1.54 million worth of damage. Coastal protection is an area that we need to see a strong statement in relation to funding, and I know I'll commend the Minister again in relation to the schemes with the OPW, the small schemes of under €500,000, and I know that the councils have given lists up of the amount of projects that are there, whether they be the repair of existing walls, or whether there be rock armour, which would be needed in Spiddle, for example, or new projects, new coastal erosion projects that are needed on the Aran Islands and on Inishbofin. And I know that there's certain businesses, such as a goat cheese business in Arden, which is affected by the non-repair and the closure of roads. They're closed not because of the roads themselves, because the sea has eaten in and undermined the roads. So it requires considerable investment, required perhaps going out to tender and seeking tenders back for these larger projects. So we need a strong commitment from the OPW, from Minister Hayes today, that this funding will be made available to Galway Local Authority. Galway suffered some 18 million worth of damage to a number of structures. As I said, there has been some positive announcements. There is still some concern. There are still some piers being mentioned, such as the Otterish Pier today, Cave and Dolan and Kilkieran, and a number of other areas that they're still out there to be put on lists, and the lists already submitted by the County Council only go up till mid-January or early February. So there will be an ongoing list and changes to the list being submitted by the local authorities. So that bill of 18 million in Galway is likely to increase. So I would hope for a strong statement today from the Minister in wrapping up in relation to coastal protection funding.
Thanks very much, Deputy.